We are looking at Jamaica in the 1940s to the 1960s, the early 1960s. We were a British colony at the time, and so our society was shaped by race, class, and British colonial culture. Now, at the time, the society, we had the whites at the top of the society, the mixed races in the middle, and at the bottom of the society, we had the black masses. All right. So, also, in terms of class, we had the wealthy, the middle classes, and the working poor at the bottom of the society. So one would say that in terms of opportunities in the society, race, class, and wealth played a major role. The lighter someone was, is the more access they would have to education. They would have greater opportunities for jobs in the society, and also in terms of social mobility. The lighter you were, the more likely you would be to move up the social ladder. So you find that at that time, people would aspire to marry somebody who was lighter in complexion, because it was their belief that this would be their ticket out of poverty. So the prevailing norms in the society, remember I said that our society was shaped by British colonial culture, which means that the institutions within the country, like the justice system, school, church, and so on and so forth, would have British norms, and also with the norms would come the prejudices in the society. So at that time, for example, in the banks, the clerical positions, the teller position, the managerial positions were all filled by, if not foreign expatriates from Britain or from Canada, would be filled by white Jamaicans. It was not illegal for a black person who had the requisite qualifications to be employed in a bank. However, the prevailing norm of the society was that it would be somebody of a lighter skin tone. And these were things that were accepted in the society, and they were seen as normal, right? You find that employers would lean towards employing someone who was from one of the elite schools. And when I say elite schools at that time, I'm talking about Wolmer's, I'm talking about St. George's College, I'm talking about KC, Kingston College, I'm talking about Immaculate Conception High School. Now, as I said, the prevailing norm was that the lighter complexion you were, is the more likely you would have access to education, right? So the black masses were denied access, right? So you find that even in the department stores in Kingston and in the various rural towns, stores such as Myers, stores such as Bata, stores such as Woolworth, they would, for their sales rep. They would prefer people from a lighter complexion. And the positions that were more labor intensive, like work in the stock room or in the warehouse, being a cleaner, or being a message boy or a delivery boy, those would be reserved for people from the darker complexion or people from the bottom of the social ladder. So that was the prevailing norm in Jamaica at the time. Now, you find that after independence in 1962, this somewhat changed, and it changed drastically because of some of the national black pride movements, such as the Rastafarian movement and the Black Power movement. These movements challenged color biases within the society. And also by 1962, when we got independence, you find that trade unions would often challenge work discrimination on the basis of color. So post independence, the situation improved. But you also find that the prevailing system, such as employment, would be determined by what elite schools you went to, and some social clubs and hotels such as the Myrtle Bank Hotel. People who frequent it was like a social hub or a social center in Kingston. So people who frequent the Myrtle Bank hotels, they would make a networking. So when it comes to employment, that network system would come into play, and then their relative or their friends would get the jobs. But remember, those persons who would be frequent visitors to Myrtle Bank Hotel, or who belong to some of the clubs such as the Ligani Club, clubs such as the Constant Spring Golf Club, these clubs would also act as a form of networking for employment within the society. So that was what 1940s to early 1960s looked like in Jamaica. As I said, it was accepted as being something normal. All right. And so you find that the majority of the population was kept out of the economy, so to speak, because of the color of their skin and because of lack of adequate education. You can also look at, there are some works such as Orlando Patterson have some writing, some books such as The Sociology of Slavery, and you have books such as Nettleford has a book by the name of Mirror Mirror, Identity, Race and Protests in Jamaica. You also have a book by Edith Clark called My Mother Who Fathered Me. You also have books, there's also a book by Barry Shevans, has to do with Jamaica Black Power and the new identity movement. That's the name of the book. So there are some works you can look at for further readings. But until we meet again, I will discuss the Black Power movement in Jamaica, and I will also do a video on Walter Rodney. God bless you.